Welcome to Season 2 of the Fit to Love podcast show. Hello and welcome to Fit to Love Tasty Tuesdays, all about cooking, all about nutrition, and all about you. Enjoy the show. Today's show was brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at FitToLoveBook.com. Today's show, vegan asparagus miso soup. Welcome back, Dr. Meg. I am very excited to have this show because as we've done in a past show, we talked about the miso and that this is a vegan recipe. It's also almost a soy-free recipe. And we have some substitutes, so I want us to, we haven't done asparagus soup on it. I don't know the last time I even had asparagus soup, so I'm really excited to learn about how to do this.
Yeah, in fact, we should probably just talk about the substitutes first so that people understand. We're not going to actually add this into the recipe until we're at the stove with it, but this is gluten-free tamari, and it's a soy sauce that wasn't processed with wheat. Most soy sauce does have gluten in it because they do process it with wheat. And this is so delicious. It has a nice smoky flavor. I know you've used this, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we use for that. If you are allergic to soy, you cannot use that. You can try this in the recipe. You might have to use a little bit more because the flavors aren't quite the same. This has definitely a stronger flavor. But these are coconut aminos. These, I love to put these on vegetables. Like after I've finished cooking the vegetable, just put a bunch on there with some walnuts and so yum.
I've had this version, and then I finished it, and I'm looking in the refrigerator, I'm thinking, where's my soy sauce? And then, because I forgot that I had coconut aminos, I've been using this too. I love this product. But for flavor, we want to use this for this recipe.
Yeah, if you're not allergic to soy, go ahead and use this one. So.
Okay, great.
All right, so that's really yum and simple. First thing that I'm going to do is show you how to prep your asparagus. Now, you know when you get asparagus, it usually has this little rubber band around the bottom. And my little rule of thumb here is I just
cut it right there.
Cut it right there because you want to get this part is a woody stem, and you don't want this in your recipe. It does have a lot of fiber, but you know. And we are going to eventually blend the soup, but just the same, you want to get rid of that. It's a little too tough. And then this is so simple. You just rough chop it. You don't have to do anything crazy here because, again, we're going to eventually blend this soup. All right, so the onions, we already have them ready to go and chopped. And, again, just rough chop these because we're going to blend them. Right. So, it's just, you know, we want to get the lovely onion flavor into this recipe. It's so good. And we'll use olive oil, we'll use the tamari during the cooking process, and we'll use this during the cooking process, organic vegetable broth. And this we'll use during the blending process. So we'll blend at the last minute, and ready to take it to the stove.
We're taking it to the stove. So before we put all of our ingredients for our vegan asparagus miso soup, I want to talk about the pan and the pot that you're using in this line. Can you please explain, Dr. Meg?
Yes. This is my really favorite line of cookware. It's Le Creuset. It comes from France, and it is cast iron, and then it has a ceramic coating.
Yeah. One of my best friends, this is her favorite. She has the exact same, and I can't wait to have this on myself.
Yes. Well, traditionally they call this a Dutch oven. But if it's from Le Creuset, you're going to call it a French oven.
Oh, so, we like French ovens.
And I have to say it's superior to every other Dutch oven I've ever worked with. And I've worked with a number of different types of cookware as a private chef because I use whatever's in the kitchen of the person I work for.
Right.
So, anyway, I love this thing. So we're going to put our soup in here, our asparagus miso. We're going to turn this on to high because this actually takes a little longer to heat up than other pans do.
It's heavier, it's cast iron with the ceramic, so it takes a little while.
Exactly. So we're going to use extra virgin olive oil in the bottom of the pan. So this recipe is really great if you can get a nice little sear
of the asparagus?
on the onions.
Oh, on the onions.
Yeah. I'm going to do the onions first, so we're going to let the olive oil get to shimmering before we add the onions in. All right. There we go. We're adding the onions in.
I'm so glad that these onions were cut before I arrived because I was crying and the makeup was bad.
Oh, we could have talked about that.
I know.
We can talk about that now.
Okay, we'll talk about it now.
A little bit. When you're working with an onion and you take the center part, that's where all the juices come from, and you put it face down on the board and cut that way. I don't ever cry anymore.
And I've heard too, if you cut it and then let it sit for like a little bit before you start keep cutting, like that will dissipate. Is that true?
I don't know.
Okay.
As a private chef, I've never had time to do that.
Right. I don't think like 10 minutes. I just mean like, like cut it open, leave it there, do something else, come back and then cut it. So
yeah, I don't know.
I'll
I'll have to try that one.
Okay.
I like that one, but I still, because the way I do it,
So you never cry?
Not anymore. I used to. Oh my God. My first job, they would come walking into the kitchen and they would what's wrong? Like, you're crying. I'm like, the soup is so good. Whatever. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's really enjoyable making because I'm for 8 years. Exactly. Okay. Sometimes food should bring you to tears sometimes, bring you to your knees, make your eyes roll in the back of your head and go, oh, yeah, this is so good, right?
It would be good to have it be orgasmic and to try to plan to make food and to enjoy food that really, like I'm such a foodie. Definitely.
I know, me too.
Yeah, well, obviously. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
A foodgasm.
Onions smell really good.
Oh my gosh, they do. So we're just going to cook that to translucent, and they're about there right now. And then we're going to bring in the asparagus. I'm going to saute that around a little bit. So we can actually do it pretty quickly if you want.
Yes.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to add in is the gluten-free tamari, or if you are allergic to soy, we did talk about using
the coconut aminos.
Coconut aminos, exactly.
So I was being really efficient putting them back in the refrigerator.
Yeah. So good.
I'm a clean chef in other people's kitchens, just not my own.
So we're going to put about 2 to 3 tablespoons of it in here, which adds a good salty flavor to the recipe.
So I would definitely recommend that if you're using Bragg's amino acids or the coconut aminos or the gluten-free soy sauce that you don't add any extra salt because it's already salty, and unless you know that you want extra salt, you've already tasted it and you think, oh, I need extra salt. But for those of you that I know are concerned about salt, don't add any extra salt until you've tasted it and you know that you need more.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the flavor, right?
Absolutely.
And gosh, when you oversalt something,
it's hard to.
Yeah, you can't unsalt it.
Keep making more, whatever it is you're making.
It's not always a bad thing. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is add in the organic vegetable broth.
And I would also recommend, and we'll probably do it on a show, on season 1, we went over how to make chicken broth when we roasted a chicken and taking the bones from the chicken. I would also recommend that any of the scraps that you have from the vegetables that you had, like Meg and I have done a fennel salad, and we've taken the bottom of the asparagus rods, if you will, and put them aside. You can use all of that to make your own vegetable broth. So we'll do that on another show, but know that if you can, because that's always the best way, then you can freeze it and you have it available. But obviously, Trader Joe's organic vegetable broth is a great way to go when you want to do this quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So 1 box of the vegetable broth is usually about 4 cups. So 4 or 5 cups of liquid, just covering the asparagus and the onions.
And then we're
going to let that simmer.
Great.
So we're going to bring it to a boil first, turn it down, let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so until everything is nice and soft and ready to blend.
Excellent. Okay, so the last step of our vegan asparagus miso soup is adding the miso, right?
Exactly.
And we talked a little bit about this kind of miso in a previous episode that we did that was miso dressing. So make sure to go back and watch a little bit about that. But you want to quickly give us a little bit about this miso and why we're using this?
Yes. Well, this is chickpea miso. So there's no soy in it. So if you're allergic to soy, like I am not allergic to it, but I'm sensitive to it, so I want to stay away from it. And also the flavor. I just really like the flavor in this. Didn't you notice in the ginger miso
dressing? Oh, it was so good. If you haven't tried the ginger miso dressing, please try it.
Yeah. So you can get this at Whole Foods Market or other
Sprouts,
any of those natural food stores. Yeah, they'll have that one. So they'll also have other misos, and you can use those in this recipe too. It's just, I like this one particularly. So we're going to put this in here. Now, something that's important when you're using miso is you don't want to have your liquids too hot. You don't want it boiling because you don't want it to kill the enzymes, which is the whole reason we're doing this. So that, like when you reheat the soup, you want to reheat it slowly.
Okay.
And you don't want it to get to boiling.
And we cook this for about 20 minutes, set it aside and let it cool, so it's not boiling hot right now.
To my old vitamin fluid. All right. Okay.
Ooh, be careful when you're taking the top off. It's going to go from the steam and what's happening inside this soup.
Yum! In there. Okay.
Yum.
I want you to try a spoonful.
Yes, please. Now.
I want to the thing about being a chef, you want to taste it before anyone else does. Make sure it's right.
Very good. So good. So good. So this was my second introduction to miso. So hopefully by now, after watching the ginger miso dressing, you've made that. And now you can enjoy this, especially when it's hot out. Thank you, Meg, for the vegan asparagus miso soup. Yay! Yes, let us know how you love it.
The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly video casts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT, the number 2, LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.